Hello and welcome. My name is Jim Betancourt, and I'm the host for another amazing edition of the Umpires in Black and White podcast. We will let you see a side of umpiring that is seldom discussed or appreciated from behind the mask. Without further delay, let's get this episode started.
Today, I'm very pleased to go behind the mask with two special umpire friends of mine, both from Southern California, Ms. Lisa Ballard and her wonderful son, Kenny Ballard.
Hello everyone, here we are with my good friends Lisa Ballard and her son Kenny, and Lisa's maiden name is Kimura. So Lisa Kimura Ballard. And I just the best feeling it's like having old friends it's family. You guys really feel like family, and that comfort level that just simply, that's what umpires have. There's a connection where we are family, and it's like talking to my brothers, sisters, mothers, aunts, uncles. So
absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Please share with everybody a little bit about where you live, the games you work. Just let them know about who you are.
Okay, my name's Lisa. I live in Wildomar, California, which is in Riverside County, which is right next to Orange County and close to LA. So I'm about 45 minutes away from Anaheim. And also we're about 45 minutes to San Diego as well. So I see all sorts of baseball, a little bit of softball. I personally work a lot of Little League, and I do high school baseball, and then I do a little bit of travel ball here and there.
Okay. Kenny, what's your pleasure?
Well, I live in San Diego, Rancho Bernardo. I'm very close by Claremont, which is a district I grew up in, and I enjoy very much being a part of. I umpire there frequently, and I'd say that's my biggest pleasure. I also enjoy instructing umpires mainly. That's my big thing. I enjoy being parts of drills and boosting up the younger generation.
Oh, that is so awesome. That, as we all know, that is needed so desperately. And to be able to have that connection, particularly for your ability to relate and them to relate to you, because you're how old now, Kenny?
Oh, I'm 19.
19 now. So just a few years back, a lot of the guys you're probably training, you were where they were at. So
oh yeah, that
is just my hat's off to you. You guys have worked games together, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does it ever get into a situation where you approach each other to talk over a play and someone says, "Hey, now look, I'm your mother, so you have to listen to..." No.
No, of course not. That never happens.
Okay. That wasn't very right? That wasn't very convincing, Lisa.
But you didn't hear from me.
Share some of the early days of you guys getting into umpiring.
So I began umpiring when I was coaching and managing Kenny's Little League team. It was like one of the first or second years that they did player pitch. And so they didn't have a lot of umpires that wanted to go out there and umpire this, 7, 8-year-old games. So they required all the managers and coaches to get out there and umpire. And so we kind of all, reluctantly did it. And then I felt like I didn't want to do it if I didn't know what I was doing, and I wanted to kind of be good at it. So I started taking some classes and clinics and reading up, rules and everything like that. So that's how I got the bug and started umpiring, was because I was kind of, pushed into it, voluntold to cover games for Kenny's team. And then once I started umpiring, Kenny saw it and he liked, all the different rule sets that we were learning, and he liked the uniforms and he wanted to be out there too. And so he was young, but we decided, since he was so interested in it, that we wanted to, train him up as best we could. So he got out there just months after I got out there practically, because he, fell in love with it just from seeing what I was doing.
Awesome. Kenny, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much how it went down. I was I'd say about 8 years old when I saw my mother on the field, and it looked like a lot of fun, frankly, and I wanted to be a part of it, especially working games with my mom and knowing I had such a great role model to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great story. Mother and a son out there in building character, and your relationship's much stronger. Parents today and kids and families, it's difficult situations and very challenging at times. And it's activities like what you're doing, umpiring together, that just I can see the bond, and it's really a nice feeling.
Well, and then when we looked at, there was such an umpire shortage, like we never had people, wanting to umpire. And then you take someone like me and someone like Kenny, and we're like not typical umpires. But when you look at us, it's like if we could get more moms and females out there, if we could get more youth umpires to start, then we would have a lot more people to draw from. So that's what Kenny and I've always kind of tried to say, hey, come out and umpire with us. And, we'll show you that even though you're not the typical, umpire, that you can do it. It's a lot of fun. You can learn.
Yeah, absolutely. That is great. Like say again, it's just awesome that you guys have done this. Kenny, so when you are doing your training that you talked about, and your mom's probably participating as well, Lisa, correct? So when you guys
sure.
are when you're doing your training, what's the ages of the participants, and what's the numbers of students that you have in the classes?
Well, mostly we do Little League training. So we advertise it as, for the youth umpires, which are generally 12 years old. But like Kenny started when he was 8 and 9 years old. So we take younger kids if they're interested and if their parents, are serious about having them out there and they really want to learn. So we have kids from 8, 9, lots of 12-year-olds, lots of preteens and teenagers, and then some adults as well.
Okay. Now, what age group is the easiest to work with?
I think maybe I would say the 12, 13, 14-year-olds, because they know the game well. They're interested, if they wanted to come out to learn how to umpire, they're going to, try to do a good job on it. Sometimes the older kids are, looking for different reasons. So I think the 12-year-old, 13-year-old age group is kind of our best capture. The adults are good too, but it's hit or miss with the adults, Us old people, we don't know what you're going to get. The kids, right. They're attentive and they've played the game for just enough time where they, learn to love the game and they know the game. So we don't have to explain a lot of the rules. They know some of them. And it's just getting them to learn it from the umpire standpoint.
Kenny, you think that probably that age bracket is so easy or better to work with because they haven't learned the bad habits or the wrong, been told, or the old tie goes to the runner routine, that they don't have those types of thoughts already ingrained in their head?
Well, generally I would say yes, but so long as someone has the will to persist and do umpiring and follow it, I think anyone from any age bracket could benefit, could learn.
Sure. And definitely the numbers of umpires that we're seeing dwindle down. It'd be a welcome addition for anybody, as you said. I think something that it's easy to complain about, what's wrong with these kids, or look at this programs, it's falling off. But when has anybody stepped up to fill in those positions? And I think you guys are the perfect example. A young mother who's helping coach and a son who's on the team, and you saw a need, and now you're actively helping out and actually helping others get involved. That couldn't have had a better story. So I want to take a little break right now, and we'll come back in a minute and we'll continue talking with Lisa and Lisa Ballard and her son Kenny, the umpire. And I just love having you guys as guests. We'll be back in a minute. and welcome back. I'm with Lisa Ballard and her son Kenny Ballard, and we've been discussing their escapades in umpiring from their very beginnings. And I wanted to go now into basically the levels that you started out in Little League. First, you were coaching Lisa, and then Kenny was 8 years old, and then he joined in. So Kenny, you're 19, and so what level now have you progressed up to in your umpiring?
Well, I always tried to umpire people that were either around my age or below my age. Otherwise, it could be kind of difficult for me to project myself. So as a 19-year-old, I will do anything 18 and below. I enjoy working with, I'd say, 14, 15-year-olds the most. They're great people.
Right. So it's junior level Little League at this point? Okay.
Primarily.
And right. So how did you like going up from the smaller 50-foot diamond up to the 90-foot diamond, the larger field?
Well, it feels more open, but as a base umpire, it's definitely a lot of work to run across the field.
Yeah, it's definitely the field mechanics are a lot different.
It's a lot easier, definitely.
Do you prefer working the plate or the bases, Kenny?
Oh, I'd say the plate. You know, it's just a great feeling to be able to.
He's always begged to do the plate. And sometimes we're like, no, it's not your turn. You're on bases. He always wants the plate.
And you were going to say that it's a great feeling, but I think from my perception, for me personally, it's a nice feeling because it's more of you are seeing the whole field. You actually have more control over the game, and the rhythm, game management is all on you. And so what does and doesn't happen as a plate umpire, that is all on you. And it's a good feeling because once you're confident and know what you're doing back there, then you're empowered because you're actually adding to the game, making it flow and go easier. That's from my perception that I feel anyway.
Definitely.
Lisa, let's talk about where you're working at now. So you started out in the Little League and began doing those games, and that was 10 years ago.
Little League's always going to be my first love because that's where I started. I love being out there with my friends. I mean, that's the best part to me. Umpiring has always been about, making the friendships. Like you said, we're all like a little community, brotherhood, sisterhood. I have lots of friends that umpire. So to me, I would love to be out there on a 12-year-old Little League game with 4 of us. It also introduced me to Little League softball. So that was kind of a fun twist, whereas I had only done Little League baseball before. But obviously, when you want to grow and learn more things, you have to do a lot, do other things. So then I expanded and I did some travel ball. I do a lot of high school. We're right in the middle of high school season. So I've had practically a game a day. So I do high school. I do some adult men's baseball. But Little League's always going to be my love, passion.
Something made me think of something that people have the misperception that their baseball games are good or bad depending on the level of the game that's being played. Like the pro major league games, they're all good baseball games. And then college is really good too. All college good games. And then high school, and it's total BS because that's not the truth. Some of the best games I've ever umpired were at the ages of 10 and 12-year-old kids, and coaching them even, and having them play just 1-0, 2-1 baseball games. Walk-offs come from behind wins. And then I've gone up and worked college ball, and it's 32-43, and there was 3 hits in the whole game. And so it's not about the level of play. It's sometimes the quality of play teams at every level play quality ball. And as umpires, that's what we learned firsthand that most people don't really have a real good perception of.
That's why I continue to do all the younger kids games as well. When you're looking to work on something for yourself as an umpire, like if I want to work on my timing, that's a great opportunity to do it. When everything's happening a little bit slower, you can think, okay, I'm going to slow my game down and make sure my timing's good, things like that. So
something, let's see, I wanted to get into as well. We talked about the size of the games that are available to you in your area, and how is your association's ability to cover those games?
The high school, we have a huge shortage. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're running some one-man varsity because there's just not enough people. I know a lot of schools.
You're kidding me.
No, like we are so short. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so Kenny, there you go. You need to be moving.
Yeah,
up
now
to
that he's
school,
old enough.
right? You should do it. I had Billy Hayes on the show, the last show we did, and he talked about when he first became involved, and he was looking through the newspaper and he saw an ad at 20 years old, and that's when he first started umpiring, and within a 3-4 year period, he found himself in a major league camp, and they selected him to go into the minors. So you are at the prime. I'm afraid I'm going to tell you, you're at the prime age to be a candidate to move up into the upper ranks. And the thing is, some coaches will try to intimidate. We all know that. Fans are a problem. We all know that. And it's something that if you have the skills and the demeanor to understand that, and to be able to control those types of situations and discuss that with your mom, other mentors that you work with, to allow you to take control of those situations and not let the situations control you. And I think that's a lot of the problem, particularly fans right behind the backstop and parents barking, chipping, yada, yada, yada. It's easily to contain that situation. That's, as I'm sitting here in this chair, I can make that statement. But for somebody who doesn't have the experience to have that happen to them while they're at a game and they're feeling the pressure of being an inexperienced umpire with the parents added on top of it, they really lose sight of what they can do to make the situation go away. And it's as simple sometimes as calling timeout, bringing both coaches in, saying, guys, coaches, we're not going to play another pitch until that situation's resolved. And let the coaches deal with it, or a field administrator, a site administrator. So that those situations of where somebody comes on and they want to be really haranguing you for calls, or they don't like your strike zone, that doesn't have to be allowed. And it shouldn't be. So it's, like I said, when you talk to somebody who's been there, like I've been in that situation, and that's how come I know to share the words of wisdom I just did. Because guess what? I've called the coaches out and said, hey, somebody needs to take care of that because we're not going to play. So don't be intimidated by it. You need to hit it head on. When you see something that seems like it's intimidating or a challenge, hit it head on. Look at it and go, that's an obstacle I need to get beyond. And you can do that by literally thinking about the things that you can do to empower you, to put you in the place to make you better, stronger, and more respected on the field. Because everybody on the field after that point, guess what they know? They know that you know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Definitely.
It's something, the poorer younger umpires in Little League, and that's the reason why the numbers are so low, Lisa, for umpires, because of these situations have been unchecked. And
That's correct.
what we've been talking about in this last 3 minutes has not been discussed enough across the country to umpires. You don't have to listen to that. It's timeout. Coaches out on the field. I need this stopped because nobody. Number one, we're working. We're on that field working as umpires, and nobody has the right to interfere with somebody who's doing their job. And so you just shut it. You should have the coaches shut it down. I never talk to the fans. Anybody is particularly that's barking, yada yada. It's just it makes the problem get bigger, and it doesn't do anything good. But when the coach walks up to him and says, "Hey, shut your mouth, or you're going to go," at that point, I don't have to say anything. It's been said. So put that one in your toolbox.
Oh, definitely.
That's a great piece of advice.
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, it's I just really do have empathy for younger umpires because they're out there a lot of times in Little League, particularly volunteering their time or for under $20 to work a game. It's just not compensation and nearly enough for what sometimes they experience. And so that's, I think, something that, Kenny, I really would love next time we talk, you tell me about your first game working high school baseball.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right? And what's nice is they even put, when they assign you games, you'll be assigned. Unfortunately, Lisa just stated that you don't do two-man JV games, but up in our area, we do, and a lot of the new guys get put in with veterans, and so. But you also have the experience, and your mom is a wingman, so I think Lisa. Don't you think he's ready to get out there at the high school?
I don't know. Moms can't say. Moms are always scared.
I'd say so.
Kind of hard. I don't want him to get hit.
Oh my God, I'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll really enjoy it. Again, 19's perfect age, and it will set you up also, Kenny, because look, you are a prime candidate to go into NAIA, NCAA ball, Division II, Division I. You have the size, the youth, the knowledge, the wisdom. Now you put that persona out there that you belong there. I belong here. That was something that crossed my mind a couple of times in games. That I would look around the stands and look at the coaches and people there, and I'm thinking to myself, there's nobody in this stands here can come out here and do what I'm doing. Nobody. And it doesn't mean that it's me because I'm special. What it means is I put in the work and you put in the work.
The time and the training. Absolutely.
Time and training. Yes. And hours and hours. And so you deserve to promote yourself up into the higher ranks, and it will help you transition into not being that intimidation factor goes away because you are empowered on the field. You know what you're doing, and you'll take charge. And I think that would really I'd really be proud to hear that you've worked even better, your first Division II college ball.
That would be amazing.
It absolutely would be. So, Lisa, you said that you've worked also the travel ball leagues. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's just youth travel ball, so it's very similar to Little League, and it's just, more games, always more games.
Little League is a lot of volunteer, and where the travel ball, a lot of that is high dollar for the parents and the players and to get involved in. So do you find a personality, a persona on the field when you work those versus Little League as being either coaches more better, worse, etc.?
I think it's kind of the same. I think the parents might think the kids are better and that they're shelling out all the money for travel ball. So they, kind of expect they're better. But I think, talent wise, the kids are out there just to have fun and play baseball. So I think it's all the same, really.
And I worked my first travel ball games last summer. And I had the same experience. I saw the same things. And what was interesting, now, in the leagues that you work, do they hand you the card, the base umpire, the card to track the pitcher's pitch count and keep score?
They rely on the parents to do it. So, a parent can easily manipulate it should they want to. I don't know why you would want to manipulate it to have your kid pitch more than he should be. And it's just, kind of an honor system that if they want to protest that they think that they have an ineligible pitcher because he's pitched over his limit or something, they take that up with the tournament director.
Something more personal. Okay. So, do you both work other jobs?
I don't.
Okay. So basically umpiring is it. Kenny, what do you have going on other than umpiring?
Well, I play guitar on the side. I'm working on finishing up school.
And I know what I was going to ask you, Lisa.
What's that?
You just recently went to a camp,
I did.
correct?
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So in February, I went to Wendelstadt Umpire Camp, and it's 4 weeks long. And it was the best 4 weeks I've ever had. Like the better training, it was just amazing. And, most of the people there that were really successful were Kenny's age. So that's what made me wish, man, I wish I was 20 years old again, because if I had started this when I was 20, who knows, what could have happened. But
From what I understand, and Billy Hayes shared that on the last show, that was their last camp that they're holding.
it was, because they were always like a feeder where they could have people that go into the MLB minor league baseball system. But now MLB has their own camps. So their 50th and final year.
Holy cow. And you were able to attend.
It was great.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. I was there with 14 other women too. So that was a big deal because they had never had more than, 4 women at a time either.
I tell you what, let's take a little break here, and it's a perfect time to do it, because when I come back, I'd like to talk about gender in umpiring and the challenges maybe that you've seen, had to overcome, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, let's take a little break.
Hello and welcome back to Umpires in Black and White podcast, Behind the Mask. I'm going to Behind the Mask today with my special friends, Lisa Ballard and her son, Kenny Ballard, from Willamar, California, and from Rancho
Bernardo.
Rancho Bernardo. Okay, that's
Wonderful
quite
area.
name, right?
It is.
Right.
It is.
Yeah. So So do you know the origins of that name of that town?
I know a little bit about it. Sure. Rancho is any incorporated area that they were planning on building in San Diego. So you'll see that with Rancho Cucamonga, Rancho Santa Fe. As for the Bernardo part, I'm not all too sure.
Okay. Probably somebody with the last name, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Right. So before we took the last break, I was talking with your mom about being a female umpire and the challenges that it just had to be a very big barrier to jump over with lots of obstacles in the way to trip you up
And could you please just share with everybody your perspective of being a woman in umpiring in a male dominated sport, and what the challenges were like?
I think that's the biggest thing, is that everyone expects the umpire to look like you. When I walk on the field, everyone's surprised and, they wonder, am I going to know what I'm doing? Or, so I think that is the biggest, that you have to be able to stand your own and show them you're going to call a good game and a fair game. But yeah, just it's so uncommon that everyone's thrown off when they see me walk up to a game. Even now, 10 years later, it's amazing that it's so, unusual, and they want to push you. I think that's the thing, is they want to push me to see how much I know. And if I'm really just out there pretending, or if I'm trained, if I've learned everything I need to know.
That makes perfect sense. And from my perspective, I want to let you know this. They look at me the same way. It doesn't matter. And they want to test me. They want to push me. So every one of those things that you just shared, actually, that isn't gender bias or thinking, oh, this is a woman. It's just the fact that we're an umpire. And this is my perspective. So, and I'm wrong. So could be in this case too. But I know they give the same image, what should I say? I can sense that they feel the same way, and particularly with coaches that haven't seen me umpire before. So some coaches I've done dozens of games for, and that type of stuff isn't there because they know what they've seen me work and they trust the job I'm going to do. So a lot of cases, though, when new umpire or new coaches, that's not the case, and they'll push it to the limit. And I think we were talking before the show about asking a coach to go in a dugout, and some coaches, you have 6, 7, 8 times during the game, ask them politely, please get in the dugout. And for an 8-year-old kid, you'd only have to ask maybe twice. So it's the coaches pushing themselves and pushing us. And in essence, what's the thing I find odd about it is that they're not helping anything. When they do that, I don't know what their intent is to just maybe show up the umpire or make themselves look like they know what they're doing. But in reality, what they're doing, they're making our jobs harder. So we have one more thing to have to think about while we're out there working to manage a baseball game. And it doesn't help their cause because umpires have a difficult job. The minute we step on the field, there's 800 things that we are processing. And for them to add 5 or 10 more things that are just ridiculous and absurd, it just compounds those problems. And so coaches and I won't say all, because a lot of coaches are sweethearts. A lot of them are respectful and bend over backwards to help you in any way they can. But there's always those occasions where it's just the other way. So now when you went to the camp, and there was how many other ladies there with you? 15?
Yeah.
So what was some of the stories that you feel like you can share that you heard from your fellow umpires?
The female umpires, it was great because I'd never had that many females. Lots of them were from different countries. We had people from Puerto Rico, just everywhere, and then all across the United States. So that was kind of interesting just to be able to sit and talk with all these ladies about what their lives were like. And that's why it was just amazing. I mean, the guys were great too, but it's just so special to have the chance to be with so many women.
Right. Yeah. It's, I'm sure it was. I couldn't even imagine what that felt like. Now, the association you're currently working in, are there other fellow umpires or lady umpires that work that in your league now too?
I think we have 80 something men and me.
Lisa, that is awesome. I mean, 10 years and you're working in the men's association and you're the only lady. That is crazy. I worked in Sacramento, a larger association, and there was a lady. I believe there was only one lady working there as well.
Yeah. They all tell me stories about how they had this one lady, for 1 year or 2 years, 5 to 10 years ago.
Now, how did the players interact with you?
Oh, yeah. Most of them are great. I mean, you have just a couple of jerks, but I think they'd be jerks to, you or Kenny or anybody else too. So I don't think it's because I'm female.
Right.
So, yeah. But then, I work a lot of games close to where, I've done Little League games. So I know a lot of these kids. I've seen them since they were 7 years old. I'm not a new face. And, if the coaches are like, wow, a female umpire, they're like, oh, we had her in Little League forever. So it doesn't feel as new to them.
Right. And the comfort level that provides after you've worked a certain level, it's just, it's a good feeling. It really helps development and to be able the confidence to make the call and know who's around you and the environment that's a big plus, definitely. But I think also, particularly for Kenny and umpires his age, challenging yourself to go up in that next level is really the discomfort of doing it. And once you have started the process, within months, you'll immediately understand it's the right thing to do, because it is. You'll see also that there's the similarities from where you were working to where you're moving forward and doing higher level ball. Very, very, all as far as the game goes and umpiring, a lot of it is exactly the same. A lot of it. And so that will empower you. And then the missing component, taking control of the game and managing it and telling the coaches or the fans that are hecklers, let the coaches take care of it. You have the coaches got the problem. Coach, we talked about it back in the dugout, and it's just a few tricks of the trade as an umpire puts all the power in your hands. And so, like I said, I'm looking forward to the next time we talk. You tell me about your first high school game.
Oh, definitely.
Right? So, Kenny and Lisa, it's just been an honor to talk with you guys and enjoyed every minute of it. And I've got a gift for you. The Baseball Rules in Black and White app is, I'm going to send you a link, and you will be able to download a year subscription to the app and have it on your phone.
Thank you
for coming on the show. And I want to thank you again. Oh, you're welcome. And it's a pleasure. And you're welcome back anytime. And we'll do this again.
Amazing. It's been, the honor's ours. It's been a pleasure.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Kenny. I really thank you too, guys. Hey, well, safe travels. Have a great rest of your baseball season.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you the next time.
This podcast is brought to you by the #1 rated Baseball Rules in Black and White app. It's the only Baseball Rules app with videos, multiple rule sets, simplified rule language, and the best part, it's extremely affordable. Download it today or learn more at baseballrulesinblackandwhite.com. That wraps up another fun-filled edition of the Umpires in Black and White podcast. You can watch or share this amazing episode again on our Baseball Rules in Black and White YouTube channel, or go to baseballrulesinblackandwhite.com. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.